So now we will move over and bring in none other than Pat Pagano in the Weather Center. Good morning, Pat.
And good morning, Marshall, everybody. What can I tell you? The
Yeah.
weather is not uplifting at all.
But
We'll
yet,
call it a partly cloudy sky today, 50.
yeah, but yesterday turned out much better than I thought.
Yeah,
In the afternoon, we actually we saw the orange globe up there.
yeah, and you'll see some today. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not stellar, but it'll do. For April 1st, partly cloudy tonight, mid 30s. For tomorrow, some sun, low 50s, but showers work back in tomorrow night. We have showers on Friday, low 50s, cloudy Saturday, 45 to 50, and cloudy with showers later Sunday. So it's still, aside from calling it partly cloudy today, the rest of the week looks pretty much on the gray side. Pretty gray.
Well, and speaking about gray, the fun we used to have with April 1st is not there this year.
No way.
You just there's no joking around today. There's no April Fool's surprises.
No.
It's amazing. It really is how this has affected every aspect of our life.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so right there. And the only bright spot that I actually heard this morning was that the reports from Italy is that they have leveled off.
Well, they had that report 3 days ago too, and then all of
Well,
a
they
sudden,
did.
yeah,
Well, they
then they had a
said
spike.
it took 1 month, but they leveled off.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that should, like you said a little bit earlier when I joined you, I was listening. That should bode well for us because you said the next 7 to 14 days, and I think that they may actually may actually come to pass.
Well, what happens though is in the next 15 days it will level off. It still won't stop. It'll start going down if we do everything right, and that's if people do everything right, if governors do everything right, if if everybody does everything right, we have a chance to have this peak in 15 days and then start leveling off. But the numbers of deaths now that the experts are throwing around is just dumbfounding. I mean, anywhere if we do the best job in the world, from this point on, we'll lose 80,000 people, and if we don't do such a good job, anywhere from 100 to 200,000 people. I mean, it's you. How about the aircraft carrier that they're going to get? Get Navy men off, possibly because coronavirus is spreading on the aircraft carrier. I mean, geez, I mean, you look at all these different things. It's amazing. And if you read some of the stories about some of the people that have passed for this, it's excruciating for the family. It's
It's
absolutely,
terrible.
yeah. And how about Hong Kong? They're also now seeing a second wave of coronavirus. I
Well,
mean,
I think their first wave though was pretty insignificant.
yeah, well, I just, this is just, that's why testing, we've got to come up with a great test because once you know where it is and it hasn't come out yet, you can plan a little ahead for that. It's just something that's amazing. And I did watch yesterday evening for a half hour, 40 minutes, the president. And for the first time in my life that I've seen Donald Trump speak, he actually looked worried. He actually looked.
Yeah, I had to heard. I heard he
He
was
he,
very somber.
he looked very. He looked. Well, you hear numbers thrown around by experts of 80 to 200,000 in the next month. People passing away. That'll make you somber. It's just every day that goes by, and I get up and you look at the news. You just it's like you're living in a dream. It's like you're living in a nightmare, actually.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say, not a dream, but a nightmare. You just kind of hope that that sooner or later it's just going to end, and it seems like forever right now. But the main thing right now is just for all of us to get through it. That is the main thing.
And it's like I said earlier this morning, a listener called in and they do shopping for elderly, and they went to the person's home to get the list, and they said, well, I want to go with you. And they said, no, you can't come with us. Why? I'm just going to sit in the car. And they said, no, you can't. And I tried to explain, if somebody with the coronavirus walked by that car and sneezed or coughed or anything, the coronavirus stays around for lengths of time on different objects. You just can't take the chance. If, it's just self-isolate as much as you can, especially the older you are. You can't fool with this because there's no preventing it, and once you get it, all they can do is try to aid your body in helping repel it and defeat it. There's not much that can be done. Really.
In thinking about this, you remember when my great niece was 7 months old and was in the hospital. First, she was in the hospital at Thanksgiving, and she was pretty serious. They had her on a ventilator, very hard to breathe. They said she had 4 different viruses. She came home for several weeks and then was back in Christmas and New Year's. And she was at a children's hospital on Long Island. And my niece and my nephew told me that it was completely filled with children. And at that time, when I had done research, I had seen articles from Buffalo about children being sick with this virus. Mm-hmm. And then in January, early January, I got a call from Gary Garrison, who you remember from, played, and he sounded terrible. He was literally on the phone coughing up a lung. And he told me, he says, Pat, he said, I have never been this sick in my whole life. I said, well, what is it? He said, I don't know, some sort of a virus. My doctor, she gave me a very strong antibiotic. He said, and I'm on it now. And he called me just recently and he said, Pat, I think I had it.
Yeah, probably.
And nobody knew about it. And I also think my great niece did, which means this thing was circulating around the holidays.
Well, we knew about it. That's the whole thing. As a country, we knew about it. We didn't act on it. We could have acted on it. We could have acted on it around right before Christmas time, and we didn't as a country. And all we did was ban people from China, anybody coming from China, to coming in here. If we would have acted stronger, people would have still died, but not as much. We as a country fouled up. There's no doubt about it. We made some serious mistakes, and hopefully we can recoup from that and move on. But yeah, we made some serious mistakes, and we just overlooked a lot of things that look you square in the eye. That's So we'll see what happens. I mean, all we can do is tell people to distance themselves from other people. If you're in the shopping market and there's only 20 people in there, and you're both going for a hamburger or a pork chop, let one person go before you, then they leave, then you go and get the package you want. I mean, that's, you just got to remember those things. So.
I kind of agree with you. You got to be very, very vigilant when you go. I mean, yesterday I went to the supermarket. I have to say there was nobody in the supermarket, none at all. The people that worked there were, and you could see most of them were standing around. Some of them were packing shelves. So basically, I didn't run into anybody. So I was careful. I wore my gloves. And then I had to go to the post office, and I saw nobody at the post office to get the mail. And that was the limit of my outside exposure.
And Le Bon's, by the way, they're just doing a stellar thing here in Lakeville. They're going to close on Sundays to give their entire staff one full day off because they've been working so hard. But they have also started this great program to help out food banks in our area. When you go shopping at Le Bon's, if you're, let's say your total comes to $23.10. Right. If you want to round it up to the top to $24. They'll take that 90 cents, put it in the fund, and donate it to local food banks. So if you want to round up your order anywhere from 90 cents to 10 cents to make a full dollar, they'll donate that to area food banks. That's
really nice idea. A lot of businesses are doing some really, really nice things, and that's what it takes at this point. I totally agree.
All right, so we've got basically, except for a little sun today, we've got kind of a grayish, almost like an Irish forecast.
Yeah, pretty much. Same thing,
What-
day after day after day.
day after
Yeah,
day.
at least at this point, there are no big storms threatening.
No, that's good.
Yes.
And we can officially say we don't have to worry about major snowstorm anymore. We're done.
I would think that's the case. Let's hope so.
All right, Pat. Well, we're done with this for here.
Yes. And you be safe, everybody. Please be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right, Pat. Take care.
Okay. Bye-bye, Marshall.
Pat Pagano in the Weather Center this morning with a check on our tri-state forecast here on Robin Hood Radio.